Ladies and gentlemen, I am here today. I'm so excited to interview this lovely, lovely lady who I have been studying up on, so get ready. Kelsey McEwen from CTV's Your Morning Meteorologist, which is a hard word for a songwriter to say. Especially this one.
Oh, it's a hard word for anyone. Hi.
Thank you so much for doing this. We are so happy to have you here. In my reading up on you and checking out some of the videos, I immediately became such a fan because I personally come from a long line of just mental health in my life. I just wanted to say that I'm a fan, and
Thank you.
It was such a I feel like a lot of people put up this front that isn't exactly them, and when you did that, I was like, yes, you're my kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, thank you. And can I just say, I'm sorry for your struggles, and you are not alone. And if you're at home and you are struggling, you are not alone. And it is very normal to go through struggles and seek help. I did. I went to therapy, and it was the best thing I ever did. And I'm a better mom. I'm a better person. I am a better me for it. And you are worth working on, whatever your struggle is. So please do that wherever you are in the world.
Yes, I totally agree. That is so awesome. Well, the reason we're here today is I have a song out called Every Time You Take Your Time. And I wanted to interview some people I'm really excited to interview you because I hear that you have to get up extremely early, which
yeah.
Because I'm so excited to hear how that works for you, because I know that you're not only, very successful in what you do, but you're also a mother and and have a family, and that must be very hard. So let's just start there. How long does it take Kelsey McEwen to get up and get rocking and get to work, and what time does it start at? I'm scared.
Yeah. So I work a morning show, and I don't live in the city where we film the morning show. I live about an hour away in a small village in a smaller community. So I have to commute in. So there's that added thing too. So my alarm on a regular day, Monday through Friday, goes off at 2:45 in the morning.
Oh.
Yep. You feel it. I get up. Yeah. But the good thing is I get up and I basically just put on comfy clothes and brew a cup of coffee and get in my car. So I don't have to do a lot at my house. Once I get to work, that's when the real stuff begins. So I arrive at about 4 in the morning, and I do a little bit of emailing. We've got a morning meeting at 4:30. At this point, I still have no makeup on. I honestly haven't even looked in a mirror at that point. So my coworkers see me fresh out of bed every day.
I love that.
And then, from 4:30 till about 4:45, we meet. And then from 4:45 until like 5:15, I go from fresh out of bed to TV ready. So I have it down to a science.
I bet.
Yeah. When you work in TV, you really understand the power of 60 seconds. So you become very efficient at getting the TV makeup ready, the hair ready, and then getting dressed. And then I'm also a meteorologist. So at that point, I also have to build weather graphics. I'm forecasting, I'm checking emails and getting the alerts from the different weather services about what's going on. And I'm developing my story as a storyteller. And then at 6 a.m., we are live on the air across the country. So it is a fast-paced morning.
That is
Saturday and Sunday. It's a little quieter.
Well, and thank God for Saturday and Sunday. I mean, I'm sure you've got it, like I said, down to a science. But 2:45 is very early. I'm kind of a morning guy. Like, it kind of drives my wife nuts. But I'm a morning guy, which is kind of doesn't really work to be an entertainer and a morning guy, because it just means you don't sleep, which is probably, factored into the mental health too. But it's kind of one of those things that I just think that that's so incredible that I never would have thought that you would get ready at the office. So that was the fun fact for me to learn. What is something that you like, in the spirit of taking your time? Like, what is something that and I know for you being on such a tight schedule most of the time, this might be a tough question, but what is something that you love to take your time with?
You know what, for me, because I'm not there in the mornings for my kids, it's bedtime. And I love our bedtimes together. So we read tons of books. And my oldest has just entered into the world of chapter books. So that's really fun.
Oh, wow.
And we've been reading together, and we'll read for like 45 minutes at nighttime. And then we sing songs, and then we snuggle, and then I fall asleep in their beds because I'm exhausted. But right. I love it. I love it so much. And my husband is much more of a morning guy. So it works out really well because I take bedtimes, and it's the time of day where we got all the time in the world.
Yeah. That is so awesome. So awesome. What is something that you hate to take your time with?
You know, there are two things that have been a big struggle for me. One is running and the other is meditating. Because with running, I feel like I'm like half an hour into the run and I look down and 6 minutes has gone by. And I'm like,
right.
No. And then the same meditating, I started sitting on the mat 3 years ago, right when as my mental health was really becoming evident that it needed work. Meditation was one of the things that was suggested to me. And honestly, like, you can meditate for a minute and it feels like you've been sitting for an hour, just simply because it's an opportunity for all those uncomfortable thoughts to come up. But what I've learned with both those things, with running and with meditating, is that it's worth doing, and it's worth battling through those minutes, and it's worth it feeling like it takes forever, because the work you do in that process is so beneficial. So I appreciate how long it feels, and I strive to do it. And I still, like, I set small goals. So I'll set an alarm on my phone for like 1 minute meditation, and I'll get it done. And then that next time I'll try 2 minutes. And then same with running. I do like 10-minute runs, and then I'll work my way up to about 30 minutes.
Right.
Just because it's hard for me, both of those.
And I think that's a challenge for everybody. On the running, like, my wife is not a runner. I like to run. But even up until about it's been, given the COVID circumstances, I have spent, because I have so much time at home, I was actually able to, I joined Orange Theory Fitness, which the group stuff is like life-changing for me, because if I wasn't in a group, I wouldn't stay there and do it. Like, I'd just leave. Like, I'd be like, oh, I got all these things to do. And so it kind of makes me stay. And that has been like, that has helped me on the whole working out thing. My wife goes to Cycle Bar and she cycles, and then I go to Orange Theory and I do all that stuff. And that's like really helped me, the group aspect. But
yeah,
it's interesting that you bring up meditation, because I'm a huge meditator. Totally believe in everything that it does for you. And
that's awesome.
Isn't this weather gorgeous? So I'm very ADD, and I'm just appreciating that I'm sitting outside and it's late October.
Yeah, the sun just came out. It's beautiful.
I know, and it just like peeked through, and I was like, oh man. It's basically God being like, Aaron, meditate more. It's like, that was the message. Is there anything that you do that like is maybe like that, where you take more time to do something that maybe doesn't take as long, but is super, beneficial?
Yeah, I think that changes for me. That, like, through life, that kind of evolves. Yeah. At times it's been working out, or it's been meditating, or whatever. I think this year it has been gratitude. Practicing gratitude, like that. I have to make time for that in a day, because this has been 2020. And I think for so many people, like, there's kind of the running joke of, oh, this is the worst year ever, and I can't wait for this year to be done. And this year is 10,000 months long. And I don't want to look at it that way. I want to look at this year at like, okay, yes, this has been a year of extreme challenge, but it can also be the year where we stop for a second and we realize what matters. And especially for my kids, I don't want them to look back at this year and be afraid or be scared of the changes that they've gone through. So we look at things that we have to be grateful for. Even like with Thanksgiving and with Christmas, it's often a time where we come together and we're celebrating as a family unit, but this year we're being asked to do it differently. And I've seen a lot of people feeling really low about that. And counting the storms, counting all the things that they've had to give up this year. And I stopped for a second and I thought, with Canadian Thanksgiving that just came by, I thought, wait a second. If we're a family that normally travels to see each other, we normally jump on a plane to go see family. If we normally have a table that's full of food and leftovers for days, if we normally have fancy clothes and a roaring fire and a roof over our head, like, we are lucky. We have so much to be thankful for, even if we can't do that today, because this year, more than any other year, there are people who will go without. So even though we did without all those things, we didn't have the big family dinner. We didn't have a big turkey. We didn't have leftovers. I think, honestly, we wore our pajamas all day. We had lots to be thankful for because we had each other.
Yeah, that's grateful to be. I'm grateful for that. Being able to. Yeah. I know. For me and my wife, I think if we could just stay at home and hang out with our dogs all day, we'd be just
totally.
Glory. So
there's there's a blessing to be found. There are things to be thankful for, big or small. And when we focus on that, like I asked my son the other day, who's 6, I said, "What do you think of the virus and 2020 and this year?" And he's like, "Mommy, I love it." And I said, "What?" Not the answer I was expecting. And he said, "I've been home so much this year. I'm just spending all my time with you, and I'm in my jammies and we play and I'm with my brother." And I thought, that's the outlook. That's what I need to make time for, no matter what, is finding those nuggets of good. Counting the rainbows, not the storms.
Correct. And there's always good. And I think that, I think now more than ever, one of the things that comes up for me all the time when the number one time I'm not practicing gratitude is when I kind of find myself scrolling like on Instagram or Facebook or whatever it is, and you end up looking at your situation different because somebody else is doing something that maybe you want to be doing or has some type of success that you want, or like I just believe that comparison is the devil, and whenever I catch myself doing that, I shut my phone off and things that I learned when I in therapy and in talking to friends that have overcome a lot, it's like you really have to pay attention, and then you have to change it, and you have to be able to go, well, what am I grateful for? What do I have that maybe some other people don't have, which is, when you really look at it, is just a ton. And so it's
a ton. Yeah.
Just a ton. So that is so awesome. I love that so much that, gratitude is a very, very powerful tool. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
What is something that you wish you could take more time with?
It's probably my kiddos. I think that is very,
that was what I thought it was.
Yeah. You ask any parent, like the hardest thing about a parent is being a parent and not being a grandparent, because being a parent, you're also a grown up, and like I got a house I got to take care of, and a job, and laundry, and grocery shopping, and the car, and whatever. There's a whole to-do list, and then there's also caring for these tiny humans, and sometimes that to-do list gets in the way of their imagination and their world and my patience for them. And my mom always says, the best part of being a grandma is that I don't have that to-do list anymore. I just have them. And so I'm always reminded of that I don't want to be a grandma before I take the time to sit with my kids and enjoy them, and to see the world from their eyes, and to make time for their grief when things happen in their life that it's devastating but feels small to me because it's little, and but it's big to them. I want to make time for that, and I want to have patience for that. And it's good we're talking in the morning, because now that can be my goal for all of today.
That's right.
I need it like tattooed on my forehead.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Do you so what time do you head home after? Are you done? So I'm done afternoon or?
Yeah, well, like usually by lunchtime I'm home. Right. So my older one's in school, but my younger one's still not quite there yet. So I get the whole afternoon with him, and then we go and pick up his big brother from school, and then we're together. So I'm such a lucky parent in that I've worked full time, but then I've got so much time at home with them.
You still have that much time, so, yeah. But
the challenge for me is always balancing like tiredness and impatience, and making sure that I'm healthy and there for them and not just tired and cranky. So it's finding that balance and they're pretty good. But honestly, some days if it means like we throw on a movie and I kind of close my eyes and watch a movie, like we snuggle and
mom nap.
Yeah, we make it work.
It. That's so great. Yeah. Is there anything that you're forced to take your time with? Last question. Forced to take your time with that maybe just drives you nuts and you just hate, like just something that, really gets under your skin.
Yeah. I was thinking about this one because I was like, there's a million things, like traffic's the worst, or kind of waiting for your toast to toast. That can be frustrating. But I think for us, honestly, like the hardest thing that I've had to take my time with, and not just me, my husband as well, is becoming a family. That was so hard for us. I think like so many couples, infertility can be really challenging and difficult, and we have struggled. And we're so blessed. We're so lucky. We've got these two amazing the humans that we've created that we love so much. But I've had 4 miscarriages in that process, and there's no rhyme or reason for it. And I think so many couples go through that, and you feel so out of control because you like literally are just told, sit and wait, and you just don't want to. And that has been the hardest thing, the worst thing that we have gone through, that we are currently going through. We trying for a third, and it's a lot of waiting, and it's hard. It's very hard on the heart, and it's hard on family and the kids and relationships. It's hard on that. And I connect with a lot of couples who are going through the same kind of thing, whether they have explained fertility or unexplained infertility, and there's solidarity, like there's comfort in knowing that you're not alone. But man, it is tough. It's like the shortest blip of being a parent, and it's the hardest one too, because you just have no control, Yeah. So, but that's where the blessings come in, the gratitude practice and the meditating and being present in what you have, and remembering to count those rainbows instead of storms, because there is good. Just sometimes it comes with tougher stuff to swallow,
Yeah, definitely. Well, life is going to be much better today from me talking to you. I know that.
Thank you. Me too.
You're incredibly outspoken and, not afraid to talk about things that we know. Let's be honest. We know that a lot of people are going through, and because we're all human, and we all have brains that work in a certain way. And this was just such a great reminder for me. I hope a reminder for a lot of people, that there are people in the world that are going through things, and there are people like you that are willing to talk about those things and bring light to those darker situations. So thank you so much for your time. This was so much fun. I heard that you heard the song and you liked it. So I do. That alone, I was happy. I really appreciate it. I always joke that I wrote that song while my wife was getting ready one night.
Yeah, and you were waiting because she was taking her time.
Yeah. And I had to put a positive spin on it. No, but it's you're a wife, a mother, a wonderful person. It was so awesome to talk to you. I can't wait to be back in Canada so I can actually watch your show sometime. And just thank you so much for this and doing this. It really means a ton to us. Thank you for liking the song. Thank you. I can't say thank you for everything. Thanks for all the little gems. And and I'm going to count the rainbows. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, you should do it. And say hi to that doggo beside you for me. I'm a lab owner.
Can you see her?
Well,
yeah, so. She's trying to. They always try to come steal my thunder a little bit. Like they try to just weasel their way in there. I had to put mine outside because he literally would have been sitting on top of me. I get it. I love it. Thank you so much. Yeah. This was so great.